What's going on, everybody? It's your boy once again, Adonis the Don, and I'm making this video real quick. It's subject around the Adrian Peterson's 2-year-old son getting killed yesterday, in which everybody got, well, a couple people got pissed off at me. One was a guy who felt like I was blaming the woman totally, which I'm not blaming the woman totally, but what I'm saying is the woman had a part to do with her own kid's demise. This woman decided to have a kid with one man, and before the kid could even talk, she had another man. Well, the kid probably was talking at 2 years old, but before the kid actually could tell what was going on, she had another man, leaving him kid with another man to watch it. And this is a problem with a lot of women. I'm not saying women shouldn't be able to move on. I'm not saying any of these things. A woman should be able to date, I guess. But I feel like women move on and move in too quickly, especially after fucking around with another guy. Because, I mean, let's think about this. This guy had a violent past. I'm sure she's from the same city this guy is from, that she knew he had a past of beating women. So people were like, well, what does that have to do with the kid? The decision that a woman makes has everything to do with her child. And I don't understand why people don't get that by now. Everything you do, your child will catch backlash from it sooner or later. In this case, the kid died because the woman decided to bring a man that had a violent past around her kid. And no one understood why I was saying this. They thought I was called a woman basher because she ended up getting deleted and blocked. But this bitch went and said that I must be bitter because all I do is sit up and talk to women because I get rejected all the time. Well, bitch, you want to go out with me, and I decided not to go out with you when I found out who your kid's father was, and your child was only a couple months old. That's why you got pissed off at that post, because you did the same thing, or was willing to do the same thing she did. You didn't know anything about me. I found out who your son's father was, and I stopped fucking with you like that. But you ain't gonna tell nobody that, chunky soup eating motherfucker. But anyway, this other guy came on the post and was saying, well, you can't dictate who's gonna be crazy or not, which you can't. But everybody has a past, and your past should be played a part. Only women feel like your past should have nothing to do with what you do. A man knows that if he fuck up a lot, chances are he shouldn't be able to do certain things. And only niggas who are, I guess, cater to women feel like the same thing. I know if I run around raping a whole bunch of kids, I shouldn't open up a daycare. But somehow women feel like they can beat kids and open up a daycare, and everybody thinks it's all good. Anything a woman does seems to get overlooked, even though they don't understand that the things that a woman does will be passed down to her kids. Women run around fucking nigga after nigga after nigga, and once you bring it up that, hey, you fucking all these niggas, you have a kid, the first thing the bitch will say is, I'm grown, my kids don't know what I do. You see a bitch got all her ass out on the Facebook, talking crazy on Facebook, cussing and not carrying herself like a mother, and you bring it to her attention. She will say she grown, her kid doesn't have a Facebook, her kid doesn't know what she's doing, and she doesn't do these things around her kids. Well, let me tell y'all hoes something real quick that say this stupid shit. One thing that men do that y'all don't, nowadays, I don't know if they used to do it, but men do this today. And maybe they're not men, but this is what happens with fellas. Fellas talk about the shit that women do out loud. They usually don't ask and survey around the room on if anybody know the bitch they're about to talk about. You can go to any average barber shop around this city, and men will be talking about a woman publicly, not knowing any nigga that might know this woman that you're talking about. So it's a good chance that when your son gets to the age of 12, 13, and 14, when he starts inquiring about females, he can run across a man that's around the age of 39, 38, all these ages right here to the age you might be. And he can run across this man right here who doesn't know that's your son and will be talking about the shit that he used to do with a certain woman that can be named you. It's easy for your name to come back up if you fucking around with nigga after nigga. So you can't be a hoe, and your son and daughter can and will probably find out about it. I ran across guys who knew my mom. They knew her, so they knew already I was a son. So they will tell me things about my mom that I had no clue. Not saying they were bad things, but I'm saying that's the whole point. It's things that people would tell you about your parents that you wouldn't have a clue about because your parents felt like they kept these things hidden well from you. And they feel like you would never know about these things. Women need to carry themselves more like mothers when they become a mother out in public. It's certain things you shouldn't do. You shouldn't be able to fuck nigga after nigga once you have kids. Even though you feel like it's your business, But niggas will talk if you're a good looking woman. If you're ugly, you don't have to worry about this shit because men don't usually run around and tell anybody that they fucked an ugly chick. You know what I'm saying? So y'all ugly women got an advantage on this. That's why most of the times you find out a woman is a hoe, she usually looks good. Because men tell everybody, they brag about anytime they fuck a woman that looks good. Because that's like a plus to them. Men know this. Of course, you have idiots out here, but women date these idiots that still want to be gangsters once they have kids. And that's why you see kids throwing gang signs in their pictures because their mother is into a man that wants to be a gangster. So the shit rubs down to her kid and she thinks the shit is cute when her kid does it. You can usually tell the way the mother raises her kid what type of man she's into. If she likes her kids to cuss and talk crazy to grown-ups, she's into a man that's probably not responsible at all either. And he's probably not in the picture at all either because most men don't want their kid to do these things. Women, you need to realize that the things that you do will come down on your kids. You take all these pictures with your ass aimed at the camera and you think no one will ever see, your kids will never see this? I'm glad my mom don't have a Facebook page because I don't have to look at her trying to show everybody she has an ass and then say she want a real man. I'm glad I don't see my mama being that damn stupid. But women feel like they have to do this. I work out at a gym. It's a wall with about 15 women on there. 15 women and lost weight. They went down so many pounds and they put their before picture and their after picture. Out of all these women, it's one woman on there that feel like she had to show her ass on her picture, on her after pictures. And I'm not going to tell you what color this woman was because I don't want to piss off black women. But all the other women were white. That's all I'm saying. My point is, you guys feel like you have to show your ass on everything. You feel like it'd be so sexual. You feel like you have to cuss and talk crazy all the time. And then when somebody address you about it and saying you're a mother, you might not need to do these things. You get an attitude with them and tell them your kids will never find out. When your kids will go through everything that you put them through. This woman kid will still be alive if she was willing to talk to a man that wasn't violent in the past. And at least it would have been a surprise if she would have picked a man that was worth the damn. But you pick a man that beats women after women after women after women, and then you're surprised because he beat a kid. The whole point of this is when we do things, we need to think about our kids and what might happen with them. The decisions we make will affect our kids. A man goes to jail, they're going to look at it like, why are you doing stupid shit? You have kids. When a woman does it, no one says too much of anything. Like I said, if a man would have brought a woman around his kid and he had a 2-year-old and he brought a new woman around, or a woman he was just dating, and she would have killed that kid, the press, Facebook, Instagram, everybody would have had a big party making this man look like he ain't worth the fuck. But nobody wants to talk about it because a woman did it. When it's way more normal, it happens a lot more with women bringing a man around their kid and the man amping out and killing. It happens a lot. This isn't a rarity. So let's stop acting like it is. And let's start trying to live like we do have kids. Because once you have a kid, your life isn't your life on its own anymore. You have to share your life with that kid. So you was a stripper before. If you have a kid and you're a stripper still, your kid is part stripper now. Unless you stop and clean up your act. Let's start acting like we some parents that care about the kid that we had since we called them blessings. Let's not make their life a nightmare.